So what I would like to do on this video is I would like to show you some of the steps that I would have done with you in school if we were in school, and that will help you with your figure drawings for the wire sculpture. So what we want to do is we want to end up with a drawing that looks something like this one. This is the front view. And then we're going to use that front view to help us with our side view. And then later we'll do a couple of gesture drawings as well. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your paper, whatever type of paper that you have. So I just have, at home I just had some computer paper. We're going to fold it in half. We're going to fold it in half again. And then because the paper is so small, I'm going to open it up and I'm going to fold it one more time in and one more time again. So my goal is to get 4 equal blocks right there for a total of 8. So if I open it up, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And because my 8th one is a little bit off, I'm going to use that one for my feet. So this is going to be my top and this is going to be my bottom. Then I'm going to fold this in half just because the body is symmetrical, so we want it to be equal on both sides. And the fold in the middle will be my center of the body. So I know now if my figure drawing fits from here to here, in fact that it is in proportion, it is 8 heads tall. And then just to make the video go a little bit quicker, I'm going to put this underneath here so I have a little bit of a guide. Hopefully I'll be able to see through it a little bit, and I can. And so we'll start to draw the figure together. So here we go. So we're going to start with an oval. This is where my crease is, just in case you can't see it. And this is where the bottom of my first block is. So I'm just going to draw an oval. So that is my 1 head, 2 heads, 3 heads, 4 heads, 5 heads, 6 heads, 7 heads, 8 heads. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a neck, and it's going to come down a little bit into the next block. Since I draw better on my left side than on my right side, I'm going to draw all on my left side, and then later I can just fold the paper and get it to go onto the other side. I'll show you how to do that in a second. I'm also going to be referring as I go along to the handout that I gave you. So I'm going to look at that and I'm going to go back and forth. If I were to take this head and I were to turn it, so just like we did in class with our toys, if I were to take this head and I were to turn it, that is how big my shoulders are going to be for the average male. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come across where my neck is, and I'm going to bring it down to that point right there, to my second head. I also know that the nipple falls on this line also, and it usually is spaced about from the sides of our heads. So I'm going to come down with a light line and a light line, and that is going to be the mark for the center of the chest. I know my next fold is going to be my belly button, so I'm going to bring in a line that is going to be part of the chest. All right, so I have the chest, I have the belly button. 4 blocks down is about the end of our torso, or our crotch, whatever you want to call it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come out. This is 1 head from here to here. If you bring it out more, it's going to look more female, and if you bring it out straighter, it's going to look more male. So anything that you want to do is fine with me, obviously. Don't really care if it's a male or a female. Our elbow falls on our belly button line. So I'm going to come over here, and I'm just going to draw a line down. That is going to be the top of my arm. And then the bottom of my arm, my wrist falls right below where the crotch line is. So I'm going to bring that out, and then I'm going to bring a little line down that is going to be like a mitten, which is going to be my hand. And then I'm just going to sketch in the negative space in here. And if I wanted to, I could go back, and I could also give my person a little bit more muscles and a little bit more character to that if I wanted to. But pretty much we're just trying to get familiar with the fact of the different parts of the body, where the belly button falls, where the end of the torso is, so that our person is in proportion. The next major thing of the body is going to be the knee. So if I come down from the bottom of the torso, 1 more head down, 2 more heads down, this is about where your knee is going to be, a little bit upwards rather than downwards on that fold. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring a line down on this side, and I'm going to bring a line up onto that side. And then I'm going to go down. I'm going to do a very, very similar thing with the bottom of my person, the bottom of their leg. So I'm going to come out. I'm going to come out. And then for your foot, you can just draw a little triangle. And then once you have the triangle, you can give it a little place where the toe is up on top. And it actually pretty much reads as a foot. If you want to, you can put in a little ankle type thing there if you want to. And those are the basic proportions of the figure. If I want to develop my figure a little bit more, I can go back, I can add more muscles to it, I can draw a little face onto it if I wanted to. I could develop the chest a little bit more so it looks male or female. And if I wanted it to be totally finished on the other side, I think we've done this in class before, but just in case we haven't, if I just fold my paper and I scribble on one side where the line is, I can see the line through, then what's going to happen is I'm going to see that line on the other side, and then I can just go over those lines. And you can see that it came through right here, and I will have my drawing totally done. Okay, so that is the front view. You're going to use the same tricks for your side view. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your paper, and you can lay it over the drawing that you just did, and that's how I did this one. I laid it right over this. I could see through. I went over this one with some darker lines. I went over it with my pencil a few times so I could see through. And I just laid it on top of it. And I'm hoping if we put it up here, you can see where I have used the same stencil that I used before, the same drawing that I used before, and I just put this on top of it. And then I also made sure that I was looking at this part right here so that I was able to do this one right here. Okay? So I looked back and forth. They're totally lined up with one another. I didn't have to fold this paper, of course, because of the fact that I already had marked off all my heads on that one right there. So these are two that you pass in, all right? And then the last one is you were supposed to do some gesture drawings. So a gesture drawing is a quick drawing that shows the motion of something. And the something this time, of course, is a person in motion. I think it's helpful if you think of things that you do when you do these gesture drawings. So if you bowl, if you play tennis, if you play baseball, whatever type of actions that you like to do, you're probably going to be better if you try to think of those types of things when you do your gesture drawings. So let's say that I was going to do somebody that is just going to be running. So I'm going to start with a little circle that is my head. I'm going to give them an oval that looks like it's about two heads, and then I'm going to give them a hip as well. So I know that they're going to be running. I'm going to give them one leg that's coming forward, and I'm just going to try to use what I've learned. I know that this part of the leg is a little bit longer than this part of the leg. I'm going to give them a foot, and then I'm going to give them a back leg and a back leg. And I'm going to try to think about, you know, if you're running, maybe that only one part of your foot hits the ground, the other part does not. And then I'm going to come up to this part right here. If I'm running, this arm would go back. So I'm going to go, this one's going back. It looks like my belly button's right about here, so I think I'm good on that. And then I'm going to bring an oval this way. I'm going to bring a circle for my hand. And then my other arm that was in the back is going to come to the front. So I'm going to do something like that. Now you can see that my head's disjointed, so no big deal. I'm just going to bring my head down more. And if I'm going uphill, I might want to tilt that a little bit more forward. And then I may want to tilt these guys a little bit more, so maybe I'll bring this out a little bit more. I can start to add any details that I want to this. But pretty much I'm just kind of experimenting on what happens, how much information I can get when my body is doing something different. Okay, so they're going to be very, very basic. They're going to be made out of a circle, an oval, maybe a circle again, an oval, a longer oval, a shorter oval, some triangles, we'll have this person saying, yay, go this way, and again, my head's disjointed, so I'm just going to bring my head down a little bit more. Then if this person were jumping up, maybe these go this way. That would be a better have one up and one down. They're not totally symmetrical. Somebody jumping off the ground saying, hip, hip, hooray. Okay? So that's basically what you have to do. The front view, the side view, the gesture drawings, you can bring them, pass them back when you come back, if we come back in a few weeks. If not, you can take photos of them and you can upload them onto the Moodle, which I believe I can access now. And I'll take a look at them and get back to you on your grade for that. Okay?